Hey guys, it's YXBA here, and it's really good to be back doing another NX related video. And this video, I use a little bit of a catchy title, but I do believe in some ways it's accurate. Nintendo will release the Nintendo NX by the end of March 2017, or die trying. So how could I possibly know that, and what the heck am I talking about? Well, today, there was a very interesting quote that came out made by Nintendo president Kimishima, and here is what he had to say. While we announced our shipment forecast of 800,000 Wii U hardware, we are forecasting total sales of 500 billion yen for this fiscal year, about the same as last year. I am not currently able to talk about concrete figures for unit sales, but we are planning for the NX to make up for falling Wii U sales. Software for NX will also contribute to sales and profit. So, for me, this statement says a lot when you do a little bit of research into Nintendo history, when you kind of figure out what their general operating expenses are every year, and also what their operating income is every year, okay? So the fact is that the 3DS sales are declining at least a little bit, and when it comes to the Wii U, sales are going to be declining massively. Did you know that in the last fiscal year, the one that ended on March 31st, 2016, Nintendo had sold 3.26 million Wii U units worldwide, and also a fair amount of software to go along with that. And in the next fiscal year, ending March 31st, 2017, Nintendo is projecting shipments of 800,000 Wii U's. If you're doing the math, the drop-off is significant. They're dropping off on hardware sales by 4 times. Okay? And they're certainly not going to be making up for the difference in software sales. Not including Breath of the Wild for the Wii U, which will not release on the Wii U until the NX launches, Nintendo is going to have considerable drop-off in software sales on the Wii U for the next fiscal year. Okay? So, this is huge. If you don't include NX into the sales numbers for the next fiscal year, which ends March 31st, 2017, Nintendo is going to have the most massive year of losses in the history of the company. And it's not even close. Nintendo has been extremely consistent in how much revenue they bring in a mediocre to bad year. Okay, so they count their revenue in yen. So if you want to find a year where Nintendo did not have net sales close to 500 billion or more, you have to go all the way back to 1996. And a lot has changed since then. Nintendo's operating expenses are much higher today than it was back then. I mean, even if they have the same number of employees, how much you have to pay your employees since 1996 to today has gone up drastically. And even then, they had 354 billion in net sales. If they fail to launch the NX in this fiscal year, I would estimate that their net sales are going to be down at probably 250 billion yen. And this is a company that routinely has operating expenses of 470 billion yen or more. And the fact is that on a year leading up to the launch of a new console, they actually have to prepay for all of the consoles that they're making, so they have a large supply available at the launch. And we know their development teams are going like crazy right now, developing software, and the research and development teams have been still tweaking that NX hardware and are likely working on the next Nintendo handheld as well. So their operating expenses this year, when you factor in that they have to pre-build probably at least 4 or 5 million NX units, is going to be huge. It's, they're probably going to be in the 600 plus billion yen range in terms of operating expenses for this year. There is no way. Do you know what is going to happen to Nintendo's stock if they fail to launch the system by like the middle of March and get that huge launch day and launch week of NX sales in their fiscal year. Nobody is going to want to touch the stock, okay? There is no way, based on this information, that they do not launch the system at that time. So, for those of you worried that the NX is going to be delayed because we still haven't seen it announced, I don't think there's anything to worry about at this point. They are being so quiet because of everything that I just told you. They are focusing 100% of their energies on making sure that they get the system right and they get the system ready in time to make the fiscal year. They have no choice. Additionally, it takes about 5 months from the time that you start producing consoles to the time in which you're able to deliver that product to market. The second you start producing the console, you're going to get leaks coming out like crazy. So they're certainly going to announce the system before it goes into production. So unless we get into November without the system being announced, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. You can take it to the bank. Nintendo is going to release the NX in March, or quite possibly die trying. If you like this video, please click like, and if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe.